This is Valentine Holmes, Jets running back, kick returner, catching punts and holding punts. That's 3. Here's 4. Can you do it, Valentine Holmes? Yes, he can. But here's the real question, Chris Simms. Can he do 5? Can he do 5? He did 5.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes.
That was sweet.
Oh, he had the kick. He had the hacky sack move at the end to save it. I like that. Valentine Holmes getting it done. Whether or not that means he's going to be on the Week 1 roster remains to be seen. But he's got that flexibility. The more you can do for a football team, the better chance you have of making the team. And these guys we're going to talk about now in today's draft, Chris, these are guys who have no worries about making the team because they make up the best positional groups in the entire National Football League. Any positional group you want to go to, you get to do it. And there's a trivia question coming. I guess since they're not giving me the question, today's the day that I have to try to answer it. What do you got?
That's right. You got to deal with me. Okay, in lieu of the XFL releasing some of their, NFL emblem or XFL emblems, okay, here's the questions. Tommy Maddox won the only XFL MVP in 2001. What team did he play for, Mike Florio?
He played for the team that was in Los Angeles, but the LA Express was the USFL team. Is it enough to say LA?
I will. Nope, it wasn't. I checked with the judges. Sorry, the Russian judge says you have to explain the full team.
Sorry. Wait a minute. I didn't get a chance to guess. I at least give me a guess.
All right, give me a guess. Give me the name of the team.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Alex Trebek gives the contestants more time. It was the LA Galaxy? No, that's the soccer team.
You're close. There's an X in it. There is an X in it.
The LA, well, it's not the Express, right? That's the USFL team.
No, it's the Extreme.
The LA Extreme?
Yeah, Los Angeles
making that
Extreme. No, I'm not. I wouldn't have remembered, but stats gave me this one, and you lost. Sorry.
Right. I got half of it right. I got the city right.
Yes, you did. You definitely did.
He would go on to play for the Steelers until he was supplanted by Cordell Stewart in 2002. All right, go ahead. And then he got injured in 2004, and that opened the door to Ben Roethlisberger's career. And Alan Faneca at the time said, I don't want some rookie quarterback out there. They went on to be 15-1 that year. Go ahead.
Okay, you're done now. Be quiet. Let's get to the draft. Here we go.
And then he broke 3. He played in the AFC Championship game with 3 broken toes. And then Bill Cowher said he didn't have any broken toes. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Okay, you done now? Thank you. Okay, this is a good. I mean, this is a good draft. It really is because there's a lot of options, and it's really hard to pinpoint, exactly who that one group is. But I got to go with this group. I think it's the most dominant group that I saw in football last year is one unit. I'm going to have to go with the Indianapolis Colts offensive line. I mean, they were special last year. You know what they did in Indianapolis? You remember, right? Remember what they did, Mike? They built a wall, a big blue wall. Yeah. That's what they did. It's so big. It's going to be the greatest wall you've ever seen. And it was an awesome wall. It really was. I mean, that offensive line, whether it's Quentin Nelson, Costanzo at left tackle, it's the one of the best in all of football, dominant in both areas of the game. I mean, truly a wall in front of Andrew Luck passing the football where he could sit back there and pat the ball 3 and 4 times and wait for T.Y. Hilton to get open 60 yards down the field. And then the holes they opened up in the run game. I mean, that one unit is responsible for turning around an organization. And that's where, you got to give Chris Ballard a lot of credit for building that. And then, of course, Frank Reich and his offense to go along with it, with fitting the skill set of the guys. But I got to go with that as the number one unit in football, as far as a dominant unit.
And, of course, Jim Irsay for paying for that wall.
That's right. Yep, he paid for that wall.
And they hope that this year the wall doesn't become a series of slats that are easily penetrable.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna stay with the Colts' Week 3 preseason opponent, the Chicago Bears, the Bears linebackers, and they get overlooked because linebacker it's not really as sexy a position as it used to be because offenses throw the ball so much more. But these linebackers are versatile. They can rush the passer. They can get the ball carriers. They can cover receivers if need be. You've got Khalil Mack, Danny Trevathan, Roquan Smith, Leonard Floyd. They have invested draft capital. They have invested draft picks via trade. They've invested money to make this unit the best in the NFL. And, they've got that history with Mike Singletary and Dick Butkus, and now here we go. Oh, and Brian Urlacher, got to mention him, recent Hall of Famer. But here we go with these 4 linebackers for the Bears defense. There's a concern that with Vic Fangio gone, that defense could take a dip. It's the players ultimately, and Chuck Pagano, who was good enough a defensive coordinator in Baltimore to become the head coach of the Colts. He's got the best defense right now that he's ever had to deal with, and those 4 linebackers are the heart of it.
Yeah, I agreed, Mike. I mean, they were on my list too. I didn't know whether if I wanted to make it like a defensive line, because, Khalil Mack's like an outside linebacker / defense end, but that was a better way to put it because it is a special group. They have depth there, but the 3 studs at the forefront, Roquan Smith, who I think is going to be an absolute superstar. He looks even better to me this year than he did last year, and you mentioned it, Leonard Floyd, and of course Khalil Mack is really, other than Aaron Donald, the best defensive player in the game when healthy. So I'm not mad at you there. They were certainly on my list. Okay, I'm going to go to one that never gets the attention that it deserves. And I understand why it doesn't get the attention, because there's some other people on the team that deserve a lot of attention. But the Patriots secondary, that's where I'm going to go. The Patriots secondary, often overlooked. You heard me say earlier in the week, they played a defensive game plan against the Kansas City Chiefs that nobody in the history of the NFL has played. They played man-to-man. They play more man-to-man than any team in football the last 2 or 3 years. Stephon Gilmore is certainly one of the 3 best corners in football. Devin McCourty is one of the best safeties in football. I mean, he's such a good safety, and he can play corner too. But it's the depth. It's the Patrick Chungs. It's the Jason McCourties. It's the J.C. Jackson, who's going to be a phenomenal corner as we continue to go. They can match up with so many different styles of offenses because of the depth, and I don't want to sit here and just continue to name names, but they have size, speed, small, quick, jitterbug type guys. They really have everything you need in the secondary to match up with any receiving core that comes to town, and they get overlooked too much, and they're one of the best in football.
Yeah, and look, I have to give you credit for that one because ultimately they were able to shut down the group that is my next pick. We spend so much time worrying about whether or not Jared Goff is going to step up and become a franchise quarterback. We worry about Todd Gurley's knee. The Rams receiving core is the best in the NFL. And, the Vikings have the top 2 guys in Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, but I don't know who the hell number 3 is, and I don't think they know who number 3 is. You've got Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, and Cooper Kupp, and I think that team changed last year when Cooper Kupp suffered his knee injury. You get those 3 guys healthy, and they'll make up for what Todd Gurley can't do. And they'll make Jared Goff look better than maybe he otherwise is. And those are the top 3, top to bottom, most dangerous receivers in the National Football League. And I know the depth chart goes deeper than that, but if you go 3 deep with top flight guys like that, you have a great receiving core, and I think the Rams have the best receiving core in the NFL because of those 3 guys.
They're definitely in that conversation. You're right about that, and you're right about your take on Cooper Kupp there. That changed their offense and what they want to do. That was a blow to their football team, certainly. I just, because I want to win the draft, you take them over the Browns receivers right now. Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., Jalen Strong.
Then who?
Rashard Higgins. Who? I know some other guys that are not household
Antonio
names.
Callaway. Oops.
Yeah, well, you're not going to say him. It's going to be Rashard Higgins or Jalen Strong. So I'm just throwing out.
Unproven. I'm not unproven.
Okay,
I'm
how
going to
about
go
the
3
Falcons
deep.
receivers? Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, and Calvin Ridley. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. I want to win the draft.
I know. They'd like to get rid of Mohamed Sanu if they could too.
Yeah.
You know that.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Are we allowed to say that? We're allowed to say that? Yeah.
I
They'd
guess
like to get
you
rid
said
of
it.
him if
I
they could.
didn't. I didn't say
said
that.
so.
Okay,
All right,
good.
go ahead.
Here we go. Oh, all right. Gosh, I don't know which one I want to go with, but I think I'm going to go.
This is a tough one, huh?
It is a tough one. I don't know where. I'm going to go with the Ravens secondary, okay? I'm going with the Ravens secondary. With the addition of Earl Thomas, I just go, watch out. They can match up with anybody in football, a lot like we just talked about with the Patriots secondary. Earl Thomas got 2 rockets up his butt still, Mike, in the back end. He can play center field as good as anybody in the game. Then you get Marlon Humphrey, who showed signs of being a shutdown corner last year. I think he continues to grow that way. Jimmy Smith, okay, Brandon Carr, and then Tony Jefferson, a guy that just goes unnoticed in football a little bit, but is an exceptional in the box, strong safety, but has coverage skills too. He's not just the thumper. and they got depth behind all of that too. I really look at that as being one of the premier groups, position groups in football this coming year.
Yeah, man, you really like the secondary.
I know, right? I went 2 in a row. I didn't want to do it, but I just felt that strong about it.
Yeah, I'm going to go offensive. I went defense with round 1, offense with round 2. And this is a team that, you know how I feel about this team. Last year when everyone was writing them off, I stayed with the Seattle Seahawks all year long. And the Seattle Seahawks have the best running back group in the National Football League, especially when you consider that their quarterback will run the football. So he's part of it as well. Chris Carson is holding off Rashad Penny. There's some indications that Chris Carson is actually separating from the first-round pick in 2017, or 2018, rather. Chris Carson was a 7th-round pick in 2017, had a great season last year. Penny played well when he had the choice. They still have C.J. Prosise hanging around on the roster. I don't know that he's still going to be there much longer. J.D. McKissick is a guy that they can't even wedge into the running back position anymore. But I think Carson, Penny, and Russell Wilson, who unofficially is a running back for the Seattle Seahawks because he will run it when he needs to, that's the best running back group in the NFL.
It is pretty strong. Again, I want to win the draft. We're just not sure about Rashad Penny, who I have very high expectations for this year. And I agree with you. It looks like, just reading between the lines and what you see, it looks like Chris Carson is just getting better and becoming more dominant in his role. So I hear you there. It is an impressive group. You know, there is the Browns running back situation, but Kareem Hunt's not going to be available. There's the 49ers out there. But you know who we missed, Mike? I mean, the Cowboys O-line, that was one that I was kind of contemplating there. And the Jaguars secondary, or D-line, you could go Jaguars secondary or D-line there. Those are other ones that were just on my list.
Yeah, and look, there's plenty of great groups out there. I mean, I was even thinking of throwing the Washington quarterbacks into the mix because look, the rest of the team is a dysfunctional mess for the most part, but Case Keenum, I love. Dwayne Haskins, I believe in. And Colt McCoy can come in and get it done for you as needed. He's just not healthy. And how many teams go 3 deep with guys that you feel that strongly about? I mean, some have 2, but Washington's got 3 guys that can come in and play. And I don't mean the rest of the players are dysfunctional. I just mean the organization.
Yeah, that's not looking great there right now.
As Big Cat said last week, dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things.
The Saints quarterbacks, that's another good one. They might have 3 right now, just to throw that out there.
Yeah, I don't know about Teddy Bridgewater, though. I hope he turns it around, but something's not right there. Dysfunctional shows go over their time limit, which we're doing, but we'll take a break now.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.